Bracken Klar. I'm an associate producer for Focus Black Oklahoma. Today I'm interviewing a young woman who organized a protest for the Black Lives Matter movement. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Vaneza Garcia. I'm 14, and I organized a peaceful Black Lives Matter protest in my small conservative town.
What town do you live in?
Woodward, Oklahoma.
So for people who don't know, it's in the Panhandle. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about where you are?
The weather changes like every minute. It's rural. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty boring down here, but it's a okay town.
So how did you decide to, or why did you decide to organize a peaceful protest?
Well, a lot of people were focusing more on the rioting part of the protest, and they weren't really listening to the parts that were peaceful and just the marching and chanting. And a lot of people here don't really get their voices heard. It's mostly just, we're really separated here. And I just wanted everybody's voice to get heard around here.
So yeah, I live in Tulsa, and Tulsa's still segregated and has historically been so for a long time. So Woodward is segregated sort of socially as well, geographically?
Yes, very.
So tell me about the march. Who showed up? What'd you guys do?
Well, I first showed up. There wasn't very much people there. I finally found a group. I was by myself for a while, and then I found a group of people. They were really nice. They were welcoming. I immediately asked if they could, if they minded me marching with them, and they said, of course. So it started with 6, and we found an area. The cops were really nice. They brought us water, and they gave us, a place to cool down and use the restroom. As it went on, more people started showing up. Eventually, we went down by the courthouse, where I think we had the most people were at. 75. Yeah, 75, something like that.
75 people, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Going into it, what were your expectations?
I knew there were going to be some people who weren't going to be happy about it because, I planned this the day before anonymously. I didn't want people to know it's me. So I did it anonymously, but there was people saying that they were going to bring weapons to where we were at and just, hateful things. But besides that, there were more good stuff than bad stuff. We have more supporters than haters or whatever.
So that's a good question. You're all of 14 years old. You're entering the 9th grade. Yes. How do you deal with the haters? How do you deal with the negative feelings of people who are probably 2 and 3 times your age that are acting like half your age as far as their maturity goes? How do you deal with that?
Just kill them with kindness. Don't pay attention to what they say. Always end the conversation with like peace and love, and just stop it.
Tell me about your support network. What was the support like? Did you get much support from your friends, family, community?
Yeah, a lot of my friends couldn't go because their parents were scared about, rioting or looting happening, which didn't happen. But, everyone was very supportive. As soon as I got home, I was reading tons and tons of messages. My mom and my stepdad were extremely supportive as well. Everyone was just telling me how proud they were of me and how thankful that I started this.
So what is the relationship between law enforcement and people or communities of color in Woodward?
For the most part, I myself haven't experienced a lot, but I do have a lot of friends that are people of color, and they've, been pulled over for purely that, or have had hateful comments. But for the most part, I really haven't heard anything bad. We were talking with them yesterday, and they agreed that what happened shouldn't have happened. They did it wrong. They were pretty cool.
That's encouraging to hear that the law enforcement in Woodward was so supportive of your march.
Yes. Yeah.
So what are your plans for the future as far as like peaceful protesting, Black Lives Matter?
I want to go to the Pride Parade this month, but like besides that, just stand until we get the justice that they deserve.
So what do you want to see change? What are you demanding things? Do you have like a couple of things you have talked to police, press, friends, family about that you're working towards?
Ending police brutality and just equality all around for everyone.
That makes sense. That's a great goal. I think we'd all be better off, right?
Yes.
People that maybe aren't familiar with the movement or with you and what you've done in Woodward, what do you want them to know about Black Lives Matter and the protests and the marches and what's going on currently?
When we say Black Lives Matter, it's not just Black lives. It is all lives. We're focusing on what needs to be focused right now. And honestly, the part that I focus on the most is ending police brutality, that type of stuff. Yeah, just not seeing color anymore. Just treating each other equally.
So you identify as Latino.
Yes.
How would you like to see others in the Latinx community lend support or help out?
They're all really supportive. I mean, there's always going to be those people, but the majority of the people at the protests probably were a part of my community. Just great people all around.
I don't mean to make you speak for the Latinx community, because just like the African American community, it's not a monolith. Like, it exists in many different forms and many different ways all across America. What would you say to other allies and accomplices, people who aren't communities of color, people who aren't impoverished, people who are part of the dominant culture, the majority culture? What would you like to see them do, or how would you recommend they help out?
Just standing with us and becoming more understanding. I live here. A lot of people are very close-minded. It's their opinion or no opinion. I just like to see, more open-minded and love.
How does one talk to somebody with a closed mind and try to convince them, if not that you're right, to at least keep an open mind?
Just, be loving to them. Don't force it on them, and don't be rude. Be as nice as you can be. And, just understand that maybe they're not going to be this, be in the same view. But, there's always a possibility that they could change their mind or something.
For sure. So refocusing on the positive, what's some of the most positive, craziest emails or letters of support or DMs you've got from people? Like, how far away have people contacted you from? What have people been having to say that's overwhelmingly positive?
I had a friend in California who, told me he was proud of me. I got home to a ton of paragraphs, and yeah, all the love that I got on Reddit and on Facebook and Instagram, Snapchat, all of it. Everyone was really kind. There's more love than hate, so it was great coming home to that.
So you've got some encouragement from as far away as California. That's awesome.
Yes.
Is there a local press in Woodward? There's a local paper, right? I think I've covered some stories or used some stories from there before.
Yeah, they were actually taking pictures at the protest yesterday.
So have you talked to them as well?
No, they didn't ask anything, but the only thing I saw them doing was taking pictures, and that's it.
Okay, so you're 14. Obviously, you can't vote yet. What do you think about the current political atmosphere? What do you think about the current state of we've got an election coming up. We've got a vote coming up in Oklahoma on the 30th. We've got COVID-19 that's might keep people away from the ballots. Mm-hmm. What do you think about the current political atmosphere?
I mean, there's so much going on in it. I just kind of stopped paying attention. It just, I don't know. I used to be very, I would pick sides. Right now I can't. I don't really agree with whatever they're saying. I'm kind of just on my own side.
We're stuck in a hard place, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you have any last words of wisdom or advice? Anything to shout out?
Just thank you to everyone who came. I really appreciate it. Everyone was there was really welcoming, and you can support the movement. It's not just about Black lives. It's all lives. We're just focusing on what needs to be focused on, and just peace and love, and just that type of stuff.
When Black lives matter more, all lives will matter more.
Yes.
Yeah, Malcolm X said, pro-Black doesn't mean anti-anything.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so then I'd like to give you the space to at least advertise your parents. How have your parents been?
they've been great. They're really supportive, just, really kind all around, especially for letting me go to the protests
Mm-hmm.
and going with me. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can't drive yet.
No.
Yeah, it sounds like you're in a good place and you've got some great parents, some great support network.
Yes.
Thank you for doing what you're doing. Thank you for leading a protest. Thank you for keeping it peaceful. Yeah, I think it's due to allies and accomplices like you that we further the movement. Like it's going to take all of us.
Yes.
All right. Well, Vanessa, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
You too.
For Focus Black Oklahoma, this is Bracken Klar.